We had sensed that something wasn't quite right and hurried toward the ship. The sight that awaited us was beyond anything we could have imagined. It felt impossible, something that simply should not exist. In the early 1940s, something unusual was unfolding behind closed doors. Rumors spread that the United States Navy was working on a project so ambitious that it sounded more like science fiction than reality. This story, later known as the Philadelphia Experiment, has become one of the most famous military legends of the 20th century. It all began with the theories of Albert Einstein. At the time, he was developing what he called the unified field theory, a bold attempt to explain the forces of nature in a single framework. According to some interpretations, a version of this theory suggested that powerful electromagnetic fields could bend light around an object, rendering it invisible. The U.S. military, desperate to gain an advantage in World War II, supposedly saw this as an opportunity and offered Einstein every resource he needed. Some accounts even claim Nikola Tesla was brought in to contribute his expertise in electromagnetism, setting the stage for a collaboration between two of the most brilliant minds in history. The war in the Atlantic was brutal. German U-boats were destroying Allied ships almost daily, and America needed a breakthrough. Out of this desperation came a series of secret military projects, collectively referred to as the Rainbow Project. Among these, the most extraordinary was the Philadelphia Experiment. Its goal was to make warships not only invisible to enemy radar, but also capable of instant relocation, what we would call teleportation. The ship chosen for the experiment was the USS Eldridge, a destroyer escort with a crew of 104. Witnesses claim that massive generators were installed beneath the deck, designed to create an intense electromagnetic field around the vessel. On October 28, 1943, power was switched on. A strange green haze enveloped the ship, and within moments the USS Eldridge vanished from view. For a brief time, it was reported 600 kilometers away in Norfolk, Virginia, before suddenly reappearing back in Philadelphia. What followed was the most chilling part of the story. When the ship returned, nothing was the same. Some crew members were missing entirely. Others were said to be embedded in the steel hull of the ship, fused into the metal as if their bodies and the vessel had momentarily become one. Survivors reported disorientation, mental breakdowns, and in some cases, permanent insanity. Though the experiment appeared to achieve invisibility and teleportation, the human cost was catastrophic. As a result, the project was allegedly abandoned. The story first came to public attention in the 1950s, when a writer named Morris K. Jessup received mysterious letters from a man identifying himself as Carl Allen, or Carlos Allende. Allen claimed to have witnessed the experiment and described in detail how the ship had vanished. Jessup became obsessed with the case, publishing his findings. But in 1959, Jessup was found dead in his car under suspicious circumstances, ruled a suicide, though many believed otherwise. His death only deepened the mystery. Over the decades, researchers and skeptics have tried to uncover the truth. Official Navy records show no evidence that the USS Eldridge was ever in Philadelphia at the time, and its documented service history contradicts the legend. Physicists point out that the technology required to bend light or teleport matter simply did not exist in the 1940s. Einstein's unified field theory was never completed, and Tesla's alleged involvement remains speculative at best. Yet the Philadelphia Experiment refuses to fade away. It has been retold in books, documentaries, and even Hollywood films. For believers, it stands as proof that governments conceal unimaginable technologies from the public. For skeptics, it is a fascinating example of how myths and conspiracy theories take on a life of their own. What makes this story so enduring is not whether it truly happened, but the questions it raises. What if the boundaries of physics can be pushed further than we imagine? What if experiments like this really did take place, only to be buried under secrecy? The Philadelphia Experiment sits at the crossroads of science, legend, and fear, an unsolved mystery that continues to intrigue the world more than 80 years later.